Hello, and welcome to Conversations with Your Commissioner. I am, of course, your Commissioner Delonte Smith, and I want to welcome you back to the BFBA complex. We've missed you guys here, but today we have a good one. I think this is one of my. We're getting through the founding owners or the founding five, is what I like to call them, and yet again we're going to touch and talk. We're not going to touch. We're going to talk to a great friend of mine, the originator of the BFBA, Malcolm Hines, actor, rapper, philanthropist, martial arts, and much, much more. Let's welcome him in. Malcolm, thank you. Welcome, and how are you, sir?
What's going on, Commish? Mr. Smith.
Well,
Salute, sir.
thank you.
How's your
Thank
morning
you for
going?
joining. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. There is a slight time difference here. Since you are on the West Coast, I am on the East Coast, so it is noon here on Saturday, as it is probably morning there, sir. But good morning, good afternoon, or from me to you.
Way to start the morning fresh.
I think so. I think so.
Grand Rising. All right.
Yes, sir. So
I'm in the Pacific Northwest. Oh, go ahead.
We seem to have a bit of delay. Just wanna catch up with us. Are we good?
Delay, yeah. I got you now.
Fantastic. I guess I'll ask the question, and then we'll just give a second, and if you can just give me a response, since we're East Coast West Coast here.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So let's get right into it. Many people know, starting off that you and I, can kind of, hold this really tight. We can call this our baby of this league. Starting back in 2014, this was an idea of yours that you brought to me while playing fantasy basketball of NBA 2K. What gave you this idea? What do you think brought this idea to you?
Well, at the time, I'm pretty sure like we had many wars in our me and you friendship of wars of playing fantasy basketball, and the fact that I think maybe we were watching the show The League around that time. So it had to be a culmination of like the synergy. I think we were watching like The League, or we started watching the show The League. And might have been like just riffing with you one day after a game of 2K. I think it's probably after we had either Muns or another person, I'm pretty sure it was Muns, play in our 2K. And we were just like, we should do like a fantasy basketball league. Like, you were like, oh, yo, that's a good idea. I was like, I mean, it's kind of like The League, the show. And then I think, as I normally do, like, we could have a trophy. I'm like, might have mentioned like all the stuff that we have now down the line. Like, that would be cool, right? You're like, yo, that's a dope idea. And then it kind of just started domino affecting in a dope way from there. But it mostly had the synergy of like watching basketball, camaraderie, us chilling, and, all the wars of 2K, which is like the wars in 2K literally have gone for almost a decade with you and I. So it was cool to actually make a like reality of it, and it's dope that this is what's come of like just freestyling brainstorming. I mean, you really took the baton and ran with it, so shout out to you. But yeah, it was just figuring out like I figured like, yeah, that'd be cool one day, like, and then now we're doing this podcast, so it's dope.
I agree. I think it is dope. Let's I will say I from conversations with many owners throughout the league of wanting to do play fantasy. We've taken fantasy and we've turned it into a sense of reality. From a way, or I mean I my mind is just rolls of the ideas that we can now do with there's no limitation to where the BFBA can go, and I want to thank you for kind of forcing the idea upon me of let's do a fantasy league, taking it just from playing a video game to now. But I want to thank you, sir.
Yeah. It was also in the timing of I mean, we really had a fellowship of friends. Shout out to Donald, Mr. Horton. He lived upstairs. He played 2K. So it was like I said, the word synergy comes to mind because it was like we all watched basketball. We literally sat there, like we used to do in acting improv. Like we all watched basketball. Like we were workshopping the scene basically, and like yo, Donald, you know what I mean? We like pointed out the people right then. I'm pretty sure like that day. You were like, yo, he plays, you know what I mean? He plays 2K, and then like Hollywood play, like we all like the three of us, and then kind of made it up all there to be like, yo, like we should really get this going. Like it was basically right in front of our faces, where everybody played 2K. Donald played 2K. Like I think we were playing a lot of 2K online as well, like on a team together. And so like that sparked it. And I think when Munz came over and like put a little wrench in our dynasty season, from what I remember, he put a little, you know what I mean? He beat one of us or something like that. And we were just like, but we should do this all the time, kind of like, like, and then the money aspect of like, everybody got like $20, when that started coming in, it was dope. In the beginning, I think it was something that like we didn't like, you know what I mean? We didn't really take as seriously in the early stages, but as it became so consistent, and then like people, gradually started winning, it like played more a part into your life. You know what I mean? It came a life thing where like, at the end of the day, like that's just something I do, I never, you know what I mean? It was like watching TV or being dedicated to a job or something else like that. It felt like that, like, oh yeah, we got to do this every year. Like, so now it's, I mean, it's something that, go ahead.
I just wanted to jump in. I just want to jump in because I kind of agree with what you're saying. I think it was the WhatsApp and before then the Facebook chat, that once those championships started coming in, and I didn't bring this up to Munz in our previous interview last season. Sorry, not last season, last week. Which also, if you haven't checked it out on YouTube, please go take a look at the conversation with Commissioner.
I definitely am. Shout out to call him Shep. I call him Shep. So Shep, shout out to my man Shep.
Yo, shout out to Shep. Well, I call him Munz, Damian Palacios.
Roby Shep. Roby Bryant. Roby Bryant. Yeah, Roby Bryant as he's known, and Shep.
But him winning those back-to-back, I think 2017, 2018, I think really kind of put a little fire under other teams because it was kind of like, this dude's got a hold on the league. Like somebody else has got to win. But now here we are 11 seasons in. So
I would say to big him up, not to like toot his home. At that time, like he was really locked in because I'm pretty sure he was also playing ball. You know what I mean? He wasn't like, there were certain people in the earlier years, I'll just say this, that like might have been focused on it, but not focused on it, and like how seriously they took ball. But I remember like he was hooping a lot, like he was, you know what I mean? He was eating, sleeping basketball for a while, like as just a person, and sometimes in fantasy ritual, you know what I mean? The basketball gods may honor that to certain people. So I'll get into that later. I would say my little superstitions about things, but you know what I mean? At that time when he was winning them back-to-backs, he definitely was like, his players was balling, but he was also like hooping in real life. So respect to him for like giving it his all at those, you know what I mean? The work is unseen in a way of a Roby Bryant, shout out to Beam, rest in peace. But in a Roby Bryant way, like Kobe, he, you know what I mean? He was working when nobody else was working. Pretty much.
cannot agree more with you. But I think, hey man, let's get to the Nether Chosen Warriorz. Let's
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
yeah. With some
that.
elephants in the rooms.
I mean, well, first question I do want to say, we kind of spoke about it a little bit here, but how does it feel to see an idea of starting a fantasy league take form like this?
It's fun. It's really dope. The fellowship and camaraderie, as I've gotten older and taking it more really, really like seriously, just as a member point of view, not as like just winning, like as something I care about, and being able to still have a connection with lifelong friends. It's pretty dope. I had, not to go on a tangent, but I think if I recall that when you and your wife got married, did we already have the fantasy league? We were in the fantasy league.
I think it started that year, so we started in
I don't know if you heard
2014.
me.
No, I did. I heard you. Started in 2014.
That was the actual year it started.
Yeah, we started in 2014, 2015
Okay.
season. So I think we might have already been married. Because, well, no. Season starts in October.
Yeah, like that's what I'm like. And as far as like that's, yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Like third, to watch it grow in these moments, like life moments that I've shared with lifelong friends, and met other people through that, that you and Holly, your wife Holly, know, like that's dope. Like, and to watch it grow to other people that I may meet out here on the West Coast. Shout out to Steven. I think it's Too Legit to Quit. I think it's his name. You know what I mean? On the West Coast, in connection with people out here, and the expansion of it is really cool. It's of course excuse my friends, the trash talking is is going to be inevitable and it's classic, but to connect with different people that you might have not known and be able to be like, oh, all right, they're cool and vibe, and then re get in touch with lifelong friends like Korean Soul Brothers, and connections that way. That's to me is the ultimate like coolest shit. You know what I mean? To still stay in contact really with people. I only say that because I game, and like everybody's looking for a little tribe, and this this is my basketball tribe. Win or lose, y'all my basketball tribe, and I don't I think member or not member, like I'm in it for the long haul. Like I'm a lifer. It's something to be a part of. At some points during your life, you go through stuff, so you take it for granted. But like, it's something to be a part of, and I'm gonna pass it down to somebody. You know what I mean? We eventually, we're gonna try to get one before I'm in the fucking, you know what I mean? I'm in the grave type shit. That's the whole MK, and until I'm in the nether realm. So, you know what I mean? Even if my nephew got to take that over when I'm old as shit, he'd be like, "Yo, we still playing Uncle Mouse." You know what I mean? That's what I want. That's how I'm with it. I'm a lifer, bro. I'll pass it down to.
The thought is that there's a if it doesn't come here, the family's gonna get one. Like
it's a generational thing. Like I'll put it in my will, bro. I'll put it in my will. Like, yo, on some like, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna be a Charles Barkley. Like, yo, keep my fantasy up. We old, you know what I'm saying? I don't care if I'm in the damn old folks' home. Well, drag me out to fucking hold that damn trophy.
I hope that you, sir, are going to get a trophy before the time has come and those days are due. I mean,
hey, I'm just saying, you gotta, you know what I mean? You shoot for, you know what I mean? What is it? What is he saying? And White Man Can't Jump. He like, yo, you know what I mean? You shooting for whatever, but sometimes it's the Sudan, bro. You know what I mean? You playing at Kenya, but you shooting for the Sudan sometimes. You know what I mean? But I mean, because we'll get into why that is with the season, But
for sure. Well, I do want to just
sometimes you got to take long distance shots and just think like, yo.
Sorry, I stepped on you, but I do just want to say really quick, from to grow,
No, you're good.
to grow to a league as we are of 14 and to be on the way to 16 next season, to have the connections from Steven to Randy. I grew up with Travis. I've known Travis since I was, 4 years old. And now, he has a connection with
You're
you.
breaking up a little bit. You're breaking up a little bit. So,
Oh, sorry. I
Mr. Mayfield, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta slow down a bit because it's latency.
My
I think
apologies.
you mentioned DC.
Yeah, DC Hustlers, the connection that you all now have, the connection that you have with, Danny Trader or Trader Danny, the connection that, we also have with the
Yeah,
mob,
Kyle.
with Cedric.
Come on, shout out to Cedric. Yeah. Oh, Randy, yeah, Mr. Harris, yeah.
Right. So
First I'll say like, everybody, you know what I mean? Everybody, regardless of the past rivalries or not, you know what I mean? There's no hard-boiled blood, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's a game is a game. Talk your, you know what I mean? Like Biggie would say, talk your thing. So I don't have no malice toward anyone. I just vibe with who I vibe with. Just
fantastic. So
owner to owner, if we're all sitting at a table.
Fantastic. Let's get to the Chosen Warriors, sir. Your only BFBA playoff runs have come in 2016, where we were bumped out of the first round, and in 2019, where we had a second round bump. So almost a championship finals at that point. What do you think it takes to get back to the playoffs?
Healthy, man. Your players got. I mean, like ultimately, there's like they call it luck. It's like basketball gods, and being carried lineup. I mean, for instance, right now I'm doing like damage control, because healthiness, like, I mean, to know, like, unless you go like, I mean, you're at that man's house or he's your neighbor and you know what these players do all day or when they're not playing basketball, and being relatable to be like, it's tough because healthiness. I'm pretty sure the basketball guys strike the injury, on me. I get that every season, like on some real Mortal Kombat, kind of thing. That's why I reference Mortal Kombat, because it's like you have to read your opponent, you have to react, but at the same time you have to have healthy fighters, man, to go in there and battle every day, because it's fantasy's a marathon. The game that we're owners in, the actual sport of it is not not easy to consistently do. They play on hardwood, they're athletes, so to be able to be like, I can consistently, I can't make excuses for that. I just know, like, if the players got hurt, or what I mean, that's the only thing I say. The players got hurt. Maybe I forgot to switch my lineup in 2016, which was probably like 8 years ago. Yeah, so 8 years ago, I probably gave a fuck less, and that probably helped me. Sorry, excuse me. I probably gave less care. Excuse my French.
Quite all right.
About it. But it's one of those things where, like, you gotta keep it. You can't make no excuses. That's our own excuse because it was 8 years ago. But and then the 2019 one again probably was like healthy.
Can I jump in just for a second?
Just players staying healthy. Go ahead.
Just want to get a we say that we've talked about health of players. Do you believe that maybe we've relied too much on the comeback of an unhealthy player, and that we could have moved that player or traded that player? Is that something that you seem or are interested in doing from year
now? For now, like, it's more about like you gotta adjust with the times. Like, the league was different then than it is 5 years ago. But now, like how I play now is like, look, if he ain't get it, he ain't got it. On to the next player. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to find somebody else. Like, you can't. I'm not gonna wait on players no more. You know what I mean? That's why it's a young man's league. It's a young man's league, man. And if you got, some Johnny Cages that went to college, you know what I mean? If you catch my reference, go get them. You know what I mean? They balling. You know what I mean? I mixed up my roster. Just dropped a major dude last night, man. Brook Lopez. You know what I mean? He's not getting it done. And watching the game, like his time and gone. Time man come, man. His time is up. Like the song OC. Go ahead.
What is it getting it done? What do you claim getting it done to be a Nether Chosen?
I mean, like, just watching him, like, he got cooked. You know what I mean? He's like, there's people on the waiver wire that's averaging more. I don't know if it's Doc Rivers or whatever. The dude's a starter, but like, there's players on the waiver wire that play for Brooklyn now that average just as good stats as him. It might not be crazy, maybe he gonna put, you know what I mean? But like, it looked like they team don't want to be there, on a basketball level. Like, they're 2-7, and like Karl Anthony Towns, I'm a Knicks fan, but he barbecued my barbecue chicken homie last night. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he need to retire or sit down or something. So that's just a personal note. But like, I can't. Jose's up 200 points. You know what I mean? And like, I relied on him. I had him, but I didn't have the presence of mind when I got that trade to be like, oh, I thought he was going to hoop. I thought he was at least going to be assistant with like 20 and 10, but like, he looks like he's on the outskirts of his career. So somebody, you know what I mean? Maybe he'll ball for somebody else, but like, I got to go with the omens and the basketball gods.
You think that there are other players that will be more beneficial for you within the season?
Yeah, if they come back, like, I mean, the younger players I got right now, that's why I keep the players that I got right now that are younger, that I'm like, I think he gonna heal faster. Or if, unfortunately, Nick Richardson, there's a couple other players that, had to do a massive overhaul if you want to at least compete this season. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. Like, if you want to compete, you got to roll and stay in the moment, as would an actual coach in the league. You're not just coach owner. Like, you have to switch the lineup, next man up. That's got to be a mentality. If you want to, I don't want to look good losing. So, if you want to attempt to win, you have to make an effort.
If I could just jump in for a second, I mean, we said that as we just said, we're making an effort, and currently we are 0-2, and we're going in, and we're in our matchup. As we said, we do film this on Saturday, so at 12:55 on Saturday, we're
this
down.
Morning, you talking about this morning?
We're down 200 points to Jose.
Well, yeah, that's what. Yeah,
let me follow up on that 1 second. You have an overall record of 64, 133, and 2. How does it feel to be one of the longest standing members? I mean, you were one of the creators of this, with no BFBA championship, and
it's tough. It's tough. Look, it's tough.
And we're down 200 points. Like where do we start to turn it around? When do we start to turn it around?
I mean, right now, like I mean, not to sound like a broken record, but because of the injuries, you have to find somewhere else. You know what I mean? I watched any day I watched the games and I scouted. So I went through the waiver wire, did a little overhaul, got the players I wanted, and see where it goes from here. I'm probably, definitely playing catch up against the homie, and the lineup isn't as good, but you have to salvage it. I can't not play somebody. So that's the thing. It's like you have to.
If we're in the waiver wire, and you're getting as much as you can. At what point do we kind of turn the hand to making a trade? Now that we're a keepers league, the
Say
players
that one
are.
more time.
When do we start to turn the hand to trades and making trades, since the players won't always be in the waiver wire?
I mean, you just gotta have the season go. Right now, it's just trying. Not trying. Yoda says there is no try. So, attempting to get a win. We were head to head. Players got hurt. Shit happens. It's basketball. It's not something that's like you gotta take. They're gonna put their bodies on the line every night, and so we gotta roll with the punches. We'll see though. We'll see. It's still 2 days. I'll probably, it may be an 0-3 start. What's it looking like being down that? But you gotta, I'm not gonna give away my house. You got to deal with the season, man. It's like a prize fight, bro. You get punch back. You got a jab, you got a counter. But you may lose by the judges, but at least they don't knock you. Knock you down, you get back up, bro. So it's how it rolls. If the season rolls like that, I'm not going to be mad. Every week I got to fight. Even if it's for a win. But it also knows where it puts me to that. Like, if it's in a couple weeks and I'm still ain't got to win, that I'm looking in for the long haul. Like I'm gonna be looking in for next year and start salvaging the team. But you may find some gems in there. I think the young man, from Toronto, he was, some house money. It may end up not having a good record this year, but still have players that's like, you can build on, because next year might be, their year when you had something to build on. Maybe, it's the universe being the BFBA universe being like, look, you're going to get punched in the mouth this season, but you know what I mean? You've trained, you go back to the dojo, you get your zen in, you figure out how to deal with the losses, heal your wounds, and you may come back stronger every year, kick like the kickboxer do. You keep kicking that tree, he might hurt his leg, but one day, one day he's gonna at least be able to hit somebody, win one. It might be a season. I think it may be a season thing for me and not game to game. Though it's,
you're a friend, you're a brother, So let's really ask the question, because I think a lot of people really want to know. We're looking at 2019. That was your last winning season at 14-7. 2024. Now 2024, we were the BFBA NIT champion, but we had a record of 3-18. 2022 and 2023, we were 6-15, and in 2020, we were 1-18-2. So we've talked about kicking that tree. When will the tree fall? When will we?
It's tough. Maybe
learn the lesson at the dojo to come back and to be stronger. We've in 11
seasons. Underwater for a second.
In 11
right?
Seasons.
Man. Honestly, like the judgment, like if you think it's like trades or like you. Well, I heard what you said. If you think it's like trades or something that I'm not doing, I don't think it is. It's just a matter of like how the season goes, man. Like I can't explain the stats. Like you can give me the stats all day. Like I couldn't say what I was doing at the time. I could blame it on COVID, but at the end of the day, it's just like it's just how the NBA season runs. Sometimes you pick the players and it goes your way, and they ball out. But we all go to the casino and we think that if we play the slots that we're gonna win every time, and it doesn't work like that. So I can't make any excuses about that season. I can play as hard as I can, just like the players. No, just like the players play. I can play as hard as I can that they're gonna play, and hope that they're healthy enough, and that like as I'm scouting or watching the game, like homie gets sick or what I start to look at differently as far as not just like their athleticism or points of like you have to start looking at who's getting the minutes, who's in the rotation for certain teams, anybody, people that are playing with Cleveland right now, or you have players on Boston, you have players on the Warriors, the teams that are like the shit right now. Like, does that calculate over in fantasy points, or the players or the teams that are like, you have to ask yourself that,
we could say
that's what I ask myself. Like, what is it?
Current form, and right now, as you said, like, if we go to the casino, we're betting at that roulette table. You've been betting on red, and it's been falling black, but one day it's going to fall red. Obviously, correct?
I mean, that in a sense of like I played it, you know what I mean? I've not saying I play the same style, but like, you've done everything right. You're doing everything right. You adjust your lineup, just like I picked the players, and I've made the moves I've made, but like at this point, like, I'm not in the player's head to be like, yo, is he going to hoop for me or not? You know what I mean? He got to do that himself and want to pay his bills. Sometimes I don't know if other people in the league have the foresight to just know that dude's gonna ball. Like, I don't know how like, how do you meditate to James Naismith or something like that to figure that out? But
I think
what I know is like,
isn't it a player percentage? I mean, if you see that a player from year to year is going to put up more points, are you not attracted to that? I mean, what attracts you to the players?
Yeah, and it used to be like, sometimes it's points, but most of the time it's minutes and watching them play and usage. Like, people will have, it's not like football where like they play a position and that a skill player is gonna get the ball because he plays that position. There's only, there's 10 guys on the court, and that player has to have an effort. So you have to scout them, look at their minutes, not just look at their points per game, but also like watch them and be like, does he get the basketball? You know what I mean? For instance, Peyton Pritchard like has the ball in his hands a lot, you know what I mean, off the bench when he has the green light. There's certain players like that's like that. I just picked up Tyler Kolek. Like, Tibbs is not giving him the green light, but he's giving him more minutes since they had to go deeper into their bench because they don't have a natural point guard, So, and he's doing other things, but it's just like that was a test of like, he might not ball out, but if they're giving him minutes and he has usage and he has the ball in his hands, that, that's more to my liking. That's like, yo, he might be, a chosen warrior, because in a little bit, whether if he gets dropped or he's just there as a role player, like, it's going to increase, and it's a young dude's league. So it's like, you kind of got to go with the 20 somethings over the guys that are my age,
So you would basically say that
as far as what I think, and it's all about if they're getting involved.
So you would say for the Chosen Warriors, it's a long-term game, right? That's kind of where we are.
I mean, yeah, it's got to be about, like right now it's like I need points, right? But I looked at a couple of factors. I didn't just look at points as the reason that I picked these players. I also picked up like what team they're on. They get usage, as in they get in the game and they gravitate toward the basketball. They're needed to get like, more than just actual points. Like, what I mean buckets. I meant like other stat stuffers. That's what you need. Like, you need somebody to get blocks. You need somebody to get boards. You need a type of intangible players sometime to help you, not just like a scorer. You need some guys that may be able to do it all. They may not be the future, but it's like,
totally understand where you're coming from.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Let's just jump forward a second.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we believe that we are on the road to a BFBA championship? I mean, we've talked about record, we've talked about our players, and we've talked about what goes in to be a chosen warrior. But if this is a movie, or if this is a book, what chapter are we in? on the road to a BFBA
I mean,
championship.
I think I said earlier, like, yo, I'm a lifer. You know what I mean? That's what a chosen warrior. I'm never gonna quit or give up. There is resiliency, just like the Knicks. That's why they're my favorite team, because we similar. We relate on, we go into everything as in a fight or a boxing match, and so you got to take your bumps and bruises. But where I feel like I am, if we could boot and rally this season, man, and players stay healthy, I hope to be able to make the playoffs. Right now, about maybe going. There's 2 days left, so if there's a chance that somehow I can beat Mr. Miami Heat, Mr. Zay, Mr. Jose, which he has some good talent. He's got players playing at a good level right now. Much respect to him. Way to run with it yesterday. I really couldn't do nothing about that yesterday. But I would say like, hopefully, man, to get some wins. I'm not gonna call it out just because I go 0-3 in the first 2 threes of the season, because you never know how the season rolls. You know what I mean? You could bounce back with a win or beat somebody and not know it. So when you're not paying attention, when you're not like sweat, as they say in the fighting community, when you're not sweating for it. So fighting game community. Anyway, but I feel like I make the playoffs, man. If it gets down and I'm like 0-8 come the season, you know what I mean, I would say that maybe like I'm probably 2 years out or a year out, then I need to revamp, I may have to revamp my style of player and trade everybody, if that's what like the basketball gods are saying as far as like how I listen. But right now it just seems like healthy. You know what I mean? If you look at my roster, it's nothing but O's. So it's like players are playing well. You know what I mean? I think I had a good off season and was smart about the moves I've made going into the season and be like, oh, those players are healthy and be consistent. Mine are one of them, Jimmy Butler. It's tough, and I personally, I'm not a Heat fan, but for him as a human, I feel for the guy, because he's got a real passion of the game, the same kind of passion I have for life and stuff like that. And the dude's a good dude, but he gets hurt a lot, and it's tough. You know what I mean? It's tough as a fantasy basketball owner. It's like,
I also had Jimmy Butler.
You know what I mean? What do you do? And it's
like, I also had Jimmy Butler on my team.
Yeah,
so
you know what I mean? And it's maybe
what you're talking about. I get it. So I think
maybe start time to looking for the next Jimmy Butler. It may be, that's what I'm saying. Like, it may be like, like in a way, it's like, it's almost a sign. Even thinking about it right now, like sometimes you may have to part with the Luke Canes and the, you know what I mean, and reference it back to MK. It's like you may have to pick another character. You may have to time to pick another character for the roster that's a main guy, that's a younger guy that's maybe the next him. But I'm at this point where if the results aren't good, I'd rather keep Jaime Jaquez, on my team than have him at the end of the day if he's not going. And it's also interesting personally with him is like Pat Riley. That's why he was on the trading block, because Pat Riley said like he ain't gonna play. He want a guy to play every game. So
very true.
When you're not, you know what I mean. When you're not consistent, when you're hearing that in real life, it's tough. Go ahead.
Sorry, brother. I just want to jump in because this has been a great interview. I've enjoyed having you. This has been fantastic. I got one more question.
Yeah.
I just got one more for you, and let's get to that one. I asked this to SLC committee member Damien, Evil Empire owner. I want to ask this to you as well. As an SLC, that's supposed to say member. I still didn't change it. I'm so sorry. We're a production company of one right now. As an SLC member and one of the founders, I mean, this was your baby just as much as mine. Where do you view the state of the league currently?
I'm excited for the expansion. It's almost like it's coinciding with the actual NBA expansion. So, and the fact that it's like, it's almost like you're getting you're like Ted Turner and you're about to like get a TV contract, or it's about to be like NBA on NBC again. Like it's those kind of times where it's good. I feel good about it. It's fun. It's definitely the rejuvenation of the fun and camaraderie of it. And watching the games is that, and I'm excited to see like the next two people. I'm actually just kind of fishing for somebody to play in it, you know what I mean? Because I rather have with someone more closer to me on the West Coast that has a passion for basketball that would like to be in it. So I've been kind of pitching the idea around for anybody that like wants to do it and be that third expansion team, not to be like to show me favor, but just to have someone else close locally that would want to hoop. I had someone in Vegas that wanted to do it, but we didn't really stay in touch like that. So, but I'm excited for that. This kid, Cooper Flag, plays for Duke, and the draft class. So
probably go to be a mob.
Yeah. So I haven't really started watching college basketball yet, but that's normally my thing. I do that coincides with this. When I had like full on cable, I don't, and I just like to watch the younger players to be like, yo, who's coming in? This year, it's actually, they said like last year, this actual draft, they said that like a lot of players, you know what I mean, and that it wasn't a fantastic draft class, and I feel like you got every so often you got to wait a bit to get the bunch of, you know what I mean. I think there's going to be a hiatus of like the Mellows and the next where you have to have the players working on their game right in front of your eyes in the league. Like you're gonna watch them grow the same way, you know what I mean? Grady McGrady, I call him Grady McGrady, in Toronto's grow. Like you had him last year, you starting to see him, you know what I mean, where like, yo, he's a player, like a seasoned player right now, but some might be a franchise player, you know what I mean? If he don't, you know, he playing this whole season, he may not get hurt. You know what I mean? If he could play the whole year, like, and be consistent, like, yo, he might be something to look forward to as we get into the expansions where it's like you got to go younger. You got to go younger. Got to go young vet over.
I think you're absolutely right. I think for there possibly being the expansion within the NBA at some point, for us to kind of give a preview to what it could possibly look like, with also having such great youth coming into the league next season. As we're all predicting, Cooper Flag is going to be a BFBA mob come 2025. So we'll see how the world works. Malcolm, I want to thank you, sir, for taking the time out to sitting down and, speaking with your commissioner.
As always, man, for much respect. Namaste. Thank you for inviting me to your commissioner dojo.
Yes,
shout out to everybody in the league, rivals alike, nemesis alike, as I say. Yeah. Shout out to all the banners, HD, Brooklyn Stu kids. You my homie, you my ace. Much love. And congratulations again on Brooklyn. Shout out to Brooklyn and your son. And salute to y'all. And I know we will see each other. We'll probably be battling soon enough on the hardwood as far as the basketball is concerned. So I'll see you out there. But yeah, man, stay tuned. And as always, if anybody wants to find me,
yeah, bro, where can they? I was just about to say, bro, where can they find you? Please let them know. Where are you? Get it out.
Most of the times, the music's still on all platforms at Chaotic Ruckus, REWKUS. If y'all haven't listened to it, the people that watch this on YouTube, you can go on YouTube and look that up. But Chaotic Jedi, you just type that in, and Twitch, and I'm gaming. Play a lot of Mortal Kombat, since that's in the emblem. That's my thing. That's my 2K, because I don't play 2K anymore. We have a long-lasting friendship, so I will be playing NCAA until you are ready, sir. I know you're a busy man, but that's an homage to you. It's some third-person games, and come chill and vibe with it, brother. And we can always, and I'm always shouting out the BFBA. I know you have your podcast, Shameless Plug, but if anybody wants to chop it up about it on my show, which I do, is called Chaotic Jedi Show. Everything I stream is called the Chaotic Jedi Show. So y'all can come chop it up. It's fun, laugh, meet different people. It's a blast. It's fun. You know what I mean? If you have an hour, if you're like one of the people who has the tech job or whatever, and you got a stay-at-home job, you can watch stuff. Come watch your brother hang out. All right.
Yeah, check it out. I would definitely say everybody.
Thank you so much again.
Of course, thank you for joining me, sir. This has been an excellent conversation.
As always.
Check out, Chaotic Jedi, Malcolm's, his Twitch stream. Listen to the podcast, the deep dive,
yeah.
On YouTube as well. This is also on YouTube. So, sir, thank you. Mm-hmm. This has been Conversations with Your Commissioner with Malcolm Hines.
Namaste.
Thank you. Namago.